A man can smile, set the table, and tuck you into bed while quietly deciding whether you deserve to live another day. That unsettling question sits at the heart of this story, where the idea of family becomes both a disguise and a weapon. The film opens with a sense of calm that was almost rehearsed. A middle-aged man carefully packs his belongings inside a neat suburban home. He moves with precision, wiping surfaces, aligning furniture, and checking his reflection in the mirror as if testing a new identity. There is no panic, only control. But the illusion cracks when a family argument erupts downstairs, followed by sudden, brutal violence. The man leaves the house alone, blood washed away, his face blank. Whatever family once lived there is gone, and he is already searching for the next one. Sometime later, far from the crime scene, a divorced woman named Susan meets a charming stranger while waiting for a car to be repaired. He introduces himself as David, a widower who seems gentle, attentive, and unusually interested in the idea of belonging. Their conversation flows easily. David listens closely, mirrors her emotions, and presents himself as a man longing for stability after loss. For Susan, who has been hurt by past relationships, his calm confidence feels safe. For the audience, it feels rehearsed. Susan lives with her teenage son Michael and her younger daughter Kelly. Michael is intelligent, cautious, and emotionally guarded. He has seen enough instability in his life to recognize when something feels off. From the moment David enters their world, Michael senses a quiet tension behind a man's polite smile. David, on the other hand, notices Michael immediately, not as a child to protect, but as an obstacle to remove. As Susan and David grow closer, the relationship moves at a rapid pace. David is always present, always helpful, always saying the right thing. He fixes broken doors, offers guidance, and speaks passionately about responsibility and family values. To Susan, he appears dependable. To Kelly, he seems like a friendly authority figure. But to Michael, his behavior feels calculated. David watches people when they think he isn't looking. He studies reactions, tests boundaries, and subtly asserts control. The film carefully builds this unease by placing David into everyday family moments. Dinner conversations, school events, and quiet evenings become stages for his performance. He encourages discipline, praises obedience, and reacts sharply when challenged. These are small cracks, easy to dismiss, but together they form a pattern. David doesn't want to join a family. He wants to own one. Michael's suspicions intensify when he notices inconsistencies in David's stories. Details about his past change. Names don't align. Emotional reactions feel practiced rather than genuine. When Michael pushes for answers, David responds not with openness, but with intimidation masked as concern. He frames Michael as troubled, rebellious, and unstable, planting doubt in Susan's mind. This psychological maneuvering is one of the film's core themes. How manipulation thrives when trust is weaponized. Susan, caught between love and loyalty, chooses to believe David. Her desire for a complete family blinds her to the warning signs. This is not weakness, but hope taken advantage of. David understands this perfectly. He thrives on the emotional needs of others, molding himself into whatever role is required to secure his position. Husband, father, protector. Each identity is disposable once it no longer serves him. As David's grip tightens, the household becomes tense. Rules become stricter. Punishments feel excessive. Michael's freedom shrinks, and his voice carries less weight. David's calm exterior starts to fracture, revealing flashes of rage when control slips. These moments are brief, but telling. They show that beneath the mask is someone who cannot tolerate defiance. The turning point comes when Michael begins actively investigating David's past. His search leads him to disturbing revelations about previous families connected to David, all ending in tragedy. The pattern becomes clear. David doesn't survive broken families. He erases them and starts again. What he seeks isn't love, but perfection. And when reality fails to meet his expectations, violence becomes a solution. When Michael confronts David with this knowledge, the mask finally falls. David's response is cold and terrifyingly logical. He believes that a family must function according to his rules, and anyone who disrupts that balance is a threat. In his mind, removing a problem is not murder. It is correction. This chilling moral framework, reveals how David justifies his actions without guilt. From here, the story accelerates into a deadly game of survival. Susan begins to realize the truth, but denial gives way to fear too late. David's need for control transforms into open hostility. The house, once a symbol of safety, becomes a trap. Hallways feel narrower. Doors feel heavier. Every familiar space is now dangerous. The film uses these confined settings to emphasize the emotional imprisonment the family faces. David knows the house. He knows their routines. He uses domestic spaces as tools, turning kitchens, bedrooms, and staircases into arenas of terror. His violence is not chaotic. It is deliberate, reflecting his obsession with order. Michael, forced into a protector role, confronts David not just physically, but psychologically. He challenges the fantasy David has built around himself. By refusing to submit, Michael exposes David's greatest fear, that he is not the perfect man he pretends to be. This confrontation strips David of his power, revealing him as fragile beneath the aggression. The climax unfolds with intense urgency as the family fights to survive. Each character is pushed to their limits, making choices driven by instinct rather than hope. In these final moments, the story underscores its central question: what truly defines a family? Is it structure and control, or trust and acceptance? When the violence finally ends, there is no triumph, only relief and loss. The surviving characters are left to process the trauma, carrying the knowledge that evil does not always arrive loudly. Sometimes it knocks politely, offers help, and waits to be invited inside. The film closes on a reflective note, reminding us that monsters do not always look monstrous. They can wear familiar faces, speak gentle words, and promise safety. The real danger lies not in strangers, but in how easily we confuse control with care and obsession with love. If you enjoyed this deep dive into a story that turns the idea of family upside down, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to Film Recap, and share your thoughts in the comments. Do you think evil can truly hide in plain sight, or are there always signs we choose to ignore? If this story kept you on edge and made you see familiar faces a little differently, take a second to support the channel. Hit the like button so more people can discover these recaps. Subscribe to Film Recap for weekly deep dive movie explanations, and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next story. And now I want to hear from you. Do you think someone like this could really hide in a family for years, or would you spot the warning signs? Drop your thoughts in the comments and let's talk.